Okay, so the election is done and dusted. There's one fundamental question that needs an answer to. Is this an election which can be described as an election which has been a meltdown of the Aam Aadmi Party? Is it a wipeout, an outright rejection of the Aam Aadmi Party? Surjit and Sudeep here. We've been looking at this digitally in this digital avatar of ours. We've been trying to turn the spotlight squarely on the numbers. So Sudeep, let me first begin with you. We have an election where Mr. Kejriwal has lost, where Manish Sisodia has lost, where Somnath Bharti has lost. I think Saurabh Bhardwaj has also lost. Satyinder Jain has lost. Yes. Right? I mean, all the big wigs, yes, all the big wigs of the Aam Aadmi Party, barring Atishi, who's barely managed to scrape through, have all ended up losing. Do we say that this election is a wipeout, outright rejection, meltdown? Which of these three words would best describe the situation today?
I would use one word, a phrase very specifically, which is used very often in elections: anti-incumbency. I would see this as a very, very strong anti-incumbency election. Now, it's easy to say meltdown. It's a nice word to use. Fact of the matter is, today also, the AAP still has 23, 24 seats. It could go up to 24, maybe you drop to 22. But what I think is critical for us to see, and I'm just opening the website of the Election Commission. The AAP, the BJP is at 46% vote, 46.6, and the AAP is at 43.3. So there's a 3%, 3.3%
like
vote.
So many other bipolar contests.
Yeah. Now
and where's the Congress?
The Congress is at 6.36% vote.
So let's because sometimes percentile based numbers give you a different story. Let's look at it in absolute numbers.
Yeah.
BJP is at what?
33 lakh votes, 33.7 lakh
votes. And Aam Aadmi Party?
Aam is at 31.3 lakh votes.
So 2 lakh vote difference, right. And the Congress?
And the Congress is at 4.6 lakh votes.
There you have it.
So the difference. Yeah, but point is this a meltdown? Is it a meltdown?
It's not a meltdown. I would say it's a rap on the knuckles for the Aam Aadmi Party, because both in terms of number of seats won and the vote share gain, I think there is a large section of the citizens of Delhi who still repose some faith in the Aam Aadmi Party. They have not rejected the party outright. But what is very interesting is the defeat, or the personal defeat, of Arvind Kejriwal, because he is supposed to lead the party. Will he be dejected, disillusioned, disenchanted, and then what happens to...
But tell me, why should I not argue? Why should we not argue that this was an unfair election from the beginning, where there was a might of the state machinery? Arvind Kejriwal was put in jail, right? There was Hemant Soren who went to jail, who came out of jail, won the election, himself is back as chief minister, the case against him was dismissed.
No, jailing a rival can go to the rival's advantage, because people get sympathy votes from that.
So therefore I'm asking, if that was a sympathy vote, let's say, right? Was he a beneficiary of the sympathy vote or not?
It turns out he wasn't.
Maybe, but look at the number of votes that he polled, because first you send him to jail, then there is an entire might of the state machinery which is out. We all saw how repeatedly questions were being raised against the Delhi police. The police, without doubt, was a party in this case. Therefore, why should we not say that actually Aam Aadmi Party, it's not a rap on your knuckles, it's a brilliant example of how to fight an election against a brutal election machinery, brutal election winning machinery that the BJP is.
Before Surajit comes in, let me, that's one way of looking at it. But also, due credit where it's due. The BJP came in with this whole anti-corruption thing, Sheesh Mahal, this, that, found out, and we also found out on the ground that Sheesh Mahal is not making that much of an effort. Then they moved around in January, they moved to civic issues. Now, civic issues, for people like us, I've lived in Delhi all my life. For me, it's not a big deal, because I am fortunate enough to have made the best of it. I've got my own water purifier, I've got my own air purifier, I have my own security.
Breathing difficulty. Breathing difficulty in October.
कल से बन जाएगा, कल से दिल्ली क्या पेरिस बन जाएगा, कल से civic issues सब settled, हवा पानी सब settled.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying something else. I'm saying from a political point of view, the BJP pivoted away from making it into a corruption issue into a civic affairs issue, and that, I think, is where it hit, along with maybe this whole business of the budget.
Bhupen, let's also be fair. Like, are we saying that Arvind Kejriwal is absolutely innocent and he shouldn't have gone to jail?
I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. I'm look, that's what the courts to decide.
He's innocent till proven guilty.
Right. And there are well,
just
let's
like
say,
Hemant Soren.
Well, Hemant Soren has got himself a clean sheet from the court. They said there's no case. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, by the way, remember, had said that this case is not going to face trial won't withstand trial for more than 2 minutes. But that aside, my limited point is this, that this was an election where from the word go, right, there were resources, there was state machinery, there was a clear-cut attempt that was made to box Arvind Kejriwal. With all the factors loaded against him, still if the Aam Aadmi Party comes up with 43% vote share, can we say that Delhi has outrightly rejected Kejriwal? That's the question I'm raising.
I don't think.
No?
None of us can say that. I don't.
I think we all agree on that the Aam Aadmi Party has not been rejected lock, stock, and
So can the Aam Aadmi Party therefore be rejected henceforth, now that it's out of power? What happens to Mr. Kejriwal? What happens to Aam Aadmi Party? You worked, you say, with Mr. Kejriwal in the past.
Yes.
So what do you make out of it?
Well, he does not take defeat very easily, very sportingly, because I happened to meet him after two very successful shows, one at Jantar Mantar and then at Ramlila Maidan in Delhi. He got so confident about himself that he went to Mumbai to repeat the show, and it was a super flop in December 2011. And I met him right after that, and I asked him that finally, you know what Kapil Sindhu says, what the Congress says about you, they mock you. They say that, well, activism is all right. Get into electoral politics and prove yourself. Ultimately, you have to do that.
Right.
And then Kejriwal tells me, you know, let's say I win this election, I become the Delhi chief minister. I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't have police, I don't have any election machinery with me, any kind of state machinery with me. What do I do with such a power? And then his advisors prevailed on him. But Delhi is a very high profile seat. You launch your campaign, you launch your party in the capital of the country, everybody takes notice, and that is going to be a big launch pad for you to emerge as an all India figure, which he tried to. He challenged Mr. Modi in Varanasi. He defeated, but he caught everybody's attention. So that thing, you know, whenever he meets with a loss, temporarily at least for a month or two, he gets depressed, he is not sure about himself. But I'm sure that he will get over himself, because it is very important for the Aam Aadmi Party to sustain for the next 5 years, so that it can challenge the BJP back.
So given the fact that you know him, right, and I'm sure he's changed, you know, over the years, what's the possibility of Arvind Kejriwal actually contesting a bypoll, asking one of his MLAs to vacate the seat, and he was there?
That is quite a possibility. Yeah, because
but who knows, he may end up losing from there as well, given the stakes which are there right now against the Aam Aadmi Party. Right. Would he take that risk, is the question.
He might, if in the coming, let's say, 2 years or so, the BJP also loses some of its sheen. We do not know who is going to be its chief minister, how his performance is going to be. So Arvind Kejriwal, if I were to be his advisor, I would ask him to strike back when BJP is at a very vulnerable point.
So right now, what really remains to be seen is whether Mr. Kejriwal will have the gumption and the fight, you know, at this time, having exhausted himself, his resources, you know, his machinery in this assembly election, would he be willing to take a bet and think in terms of contesting a bypoll? Or does he think, you know, by the way, let me also say this, some friends of mine in Punjab were telling me that in West Ludhiana, there is a possibility of a bypoll being engineered in West Ludhiana, and Mr. Kejriwal may go there. Any possibility of Kejriwal actually go to Punjab and saying, okay, Bhagwant Maan, hat jao, I'll be the chief minister there? No. What if he decides to be the chief minister?
I don't think he should become the chief. I think one of the biggest mistakes that the AAP also made was to not stand by Atishi. Atishi ultimately won. Now to put a poster which says that I am the chief minister again, when actually Atishi is the chief minister, you know you're facing these charges. If I were,
it's also bad optics.
It's bad optics. That's exactly what I'm saying. If I were his advisor, I would have told him, boss, you let it be. You don't say that you're the chief. Say, fight it in my name. You know, Modi goes and says, fight the state election in my name. Is he going to become the chief minister? No. But it's being fought in his name. Fight in your name. Let Atishi, let there be no confusion about whether Atishi is going to be the CM or not. You know, you unnecessarily create a situation where you say, I will again be the CM.
Okay, let's look at the Congress party. What has the Congress got out of it? All the numbers, Sudeep, and you may, you know, take us through the data room there. All the numbers that we're looking at seem to suggest that the Congress has done its job of being a vote katua. एक ना सुजीत, मैंने बहुत लोगों से इस चुनाव के दौरान मैंने एक फिजियोलॉजी सुना. अरविंद केजरीवाल को उसकी औकात याद दिलाना जरूरी है. This was the sentiment which was being expressed by the Congress party. Sandeep Dikshit repeatedly said, Arvind Kejriwal, for instance, when the CAG report, you know, came out, he kept on saying, Mr. Kejriwal, you're now rejecting the CAG report, and it was the same CAG report which you used during the Commonwealth Games,
Right.
and you attacked against my mother, and you leveled all kinds of unsubstantiated allegations against him. So क्या हम ये कहें कि कांग्रेस का जो पूरा गेम था इस चुनाव में वो सिर्फ इसी लाइन पे था कि केजरीवाल को उसकी औकात याद
मेरा
दिलाना?
आकलन ये है कि अगर आप दिल्ली लिकर स्कैम की भी बात करें, शराब घोटाले की, कथित शराब घोटाले की, तो उसमें भी अजय माकन ने बढ़ चढ़ के भाग लिया। उसने आरोप लगाए बहुत सारे अरविंद केजरीवाल पर, आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार पर। और ये हमारे शो में ही एक पत्रकार आए थे जो काफी टाइम से कांग्रेस को कवर करते थे,
आदेश रावल,
and he said that Delhi happens to be one of those places, very few places, where since the time Congress started receding from the map of India, it cannot regain Uttar Pradesh, it cannot regain Tamil Nadu. Delhi is one place where it can regain. And I heard Supriya Shunet say today कि आम आदमी पार्टी को जिताना हमारी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, वो उनकी जिम्मेदारी है, हम तो हर जगह कोशिश करेंगे।
यही डायलॉग बाय द वे आम आदमी पार्टी ने हरियाणा में दिया था कि कांग्रेस को जिताना हमारी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, तो कांग्रेस से आम आदमी
I just quickly do the numbers, INC, Congress today is at 6.4%. It actually gained about 2.5% from last time, where it had fallen. The lowest was about 4%. So 2.5%. But you see, my take is a little different. The Congress, Rahul Gandhi had specifically met Kejriwal and offered an alliance. Kejriwal, in his confidence, said, I don't want an alliance. Now, given that situation where you keep Congress out of your alliance, the Congress as a political party has a responsibility to fight. It's like AIMIM. Everybody says, oh, AIMIM, why does it come? It comes because it wants to take a chance. And
so therefore, let's then come to a conclusion that it's not possible in this country, in this current political environment, to expect some great unity amongst the opposition parties. It's not going to happen.
Well, partly yes, partly no, because only yesterday Rahul Gandhi had a full press conference with Shiv Sena and with
because look at Delhi, right? There was Mamta Banerjee, there was Akhilesh Yadav who were supporting Kejriwal, right? And then there was Congress. In Parliament, Mamta Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul Gandhi are all together. In Delhi Assembly, they're all, pitched on the opposite sides. Is this not what, look at Chandrababu Naidu, right? Chandrababu Naidu was with Modi, left Modi, is back with Modi.
Right.
Jagan Mohan Reddy was with Modi, now out of power, but still maintains a good relationship. Omar Abdullah fought the election in Jammu and Kashmir with Congress, and today is tweeting out, there he's literally, he's shot the Congress away. So is the story of Indian politics post this Delhi Assembly elections this? आपको अगर राजनीति में सक्रिय रहना है, आप भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ जाके एकदम आप राजनीति नहीं कर सकते अकेले
नहीं कर सकते.
I think that
and also in individual states you have to identify the opposition party which is the strongest and let everybody else rally around that party. This has to be the strategy, because let's say Aam Aadmi Party goes to Bihar and challenges RJD. कहते हैं वो जैसे पहले कहते थे सब चोर है, तो बीजेपी भी चोर है, RJD भी चोर है, तो मैं अकेले लड़ूंगा यहाँ पे. It can't win. Like in Bengal, it can't win. It can't win in Odisha. Things like
Haryana,
that. In Haryana, it can't win.
And so,
in Goa, it lost.
So, in conclusion, folks, what is the biggest lesson, Sudeep, that we take from this 2025 first assembly election, which is taking place in this year? What's the big political message which comes for the opposition and for the government?
I'll tell you, let's start with the BJP itself. The big message to the BJP, from the BJP and to the BJP is that look, 2024, that you came down to 240, but the BJP typically has been able to use all its resources to say that I'm going to win the election, whatever it takes. When I say all resources, I really mean all resources. I don't mean just political resources, but all resources, because it is in power at the center. For the opposition, it means what you just said. If you want to, first of all, you have to figure out, you want to stop the BJP, yes or no? If you want to stop the BJP, that's your primary aim. You need to get together and fight it in a better way. There can be no bigger example of that than the Delhi election, even though it's only got 17.
Okay, and since again and again we are talking about a massive mechanism in place against Aam Aadmi Party, let's also talk about a massive mechanism in place in favor of Aam Aadmi Party, which is in NGO circles especially.
Sure.
You will see that a lot of them believe that Aam Aadmi Party is backed by the CIA of United States. And now that US aid is being defunded, now that George Soros is being defunded, now that Trump is in power in United States, maybe that support system of Western media, of a narrative being built that this is one great kid on the new kid
But
on
that's
the block.
democracy. In a democracy, Surjit, you'll always back the opposition.
The American support is gone.
I'm saying you'll always back the opposition, and why should you not? To have a stronger democracy, you need to back the opposition. The party in power is a party in power. It has the handles of power.
The kind of starry-eyed treatment that the New York Times or the Washington Post gave to Arvind Kejriwal when he was barely a few months old in politics. That kind of coverage, you remember 2014 election and just try to recall all the television screens. Number 1, BJP, number 2, Congress, number 3, Aam Aadmi Party. Whereas Trinamool Congress and All India Anna Dramuk were much bigger parties than
But that's
Aam Aadmi
Delhi.
Party.
See, that's TRP. That's business.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the business of media.
Let's not look at TV, by the way.
We're in the, whether you're print, TV,
We saw
digital.
TV today.
Yeah. So I mean, TV is dead, and that's why we're alive. And what a great pleasure it was to have so many thousands of people joining into our spaces conversations today. And that's why we wanted to put this up very, very clearly. One lesson, as Sudeep says, Modi से लड़ना है ना, तो साथ आइए. Surjit's argument, आप अगर आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, डीप स्टेट की फंडिंग में आप मत पड़िए. राजनीति ऐसी चलाइए कि आप मोदी से सीधी टक्कर ना लें. मेरा अभिप्राय, आप अगर राजनीति करना चाहते हैं, अगर आप पक्ष में हैं, स्टेट मशीनरी के साथ की जाने वाली राजनीति लोकतंत्र के लिए घातक है. आप तमिलनाडु में देखें, जहां पर गवर्नर के खिलाफ प्रश्न उठाए जा रहे हैं, पश्चिम बंगाल में उस प्रकार के प्रश्न उठाए गए हैं. क्या दिल्ली में, अगर दिल्ली विधानसभा को लेकर इतना बवाल है, तो फिर दिल्ली विधानसभा को ही खत्म क्यों ना कर दिया जाए? माननीय उपराज्यपाल को आप दिल्ली का सीईओ नियुक्त करें, माननीय उपराज्यपाल को आप दिल्ली का एक कार्यवाहक मुख्यमंत्री नियुक्त कर दें और उस हिसाब से आगे बढ़े. संभवतः उस हिसाब से जो दिल्ली पेरिस बनने की बात है, तभी शायद दिल्ली पेरिस बन जाएगा. आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. फिर मिलेंगे. Squirrels.in को सब्सक्राइब करें, हमारा ट्विटर हैंडल को जरूर फॉलो करें.